Hello everybody and welcome back for more Let's Play Banjo-Tooie. In the last episode, we did our final post-level cleanup. We got everything there is, and so we've gotten every single jiggy, all the collectibles, everything. We are now doing, we've done 100%. In this episode, we are now going to be infiltrating Cauldron Keep. This is the very last level of the game, ladies and gentlemen. And despite the fact that's the last level, there are actually no jiggies, guys. Remember, I did say that we got all the jiggies. That means there are no jiggies in this one, though. So, like, it's a very short level. I mean, it's consider itself a level, though, but it's more like, you know, some kind of a gateway to the final boss. So, first we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and, if I can get over there, we need to open up this big door just by using the split pads, and you're just going over to this toxic gear here with our newly acquired abilities that we've all learned throughout the game. So, let's open it up, and then we can finally... Oh, come on! You gotta be... man, Grunty's really trying to... She's so paranoid, isn't she? You know, just bring up so much defenses here. Alright, well, we're going to have to go ahead and get rid of the laser here, so there must be a switch around, but... okay, at this point, this is just pathetic right now, because, you know, we've gotten every single Jinjo there is. All the families are complete, and the best thing you can do is just, you know, just put a Minjo here that we already know by now. That's just pathetic. It really is. Even if it's a black Jinjo, which has the highest number of Jinjos in this game. And so, yeah, that's pathetic, but... Yeah, there's that switch over there, and then we'll go ahead and, yeah, we can be able to get rid of the laser gates here. And now we're inside the gatehouse. Hey, Kazooie, there doesn't appear to be anyone in here.
Oh, yes, there is. The music's changed. Every time that happens, we always end up in a fight.
I love that. Nice little lampshade hanging there.
Your Klongo must defend Mistress Grunty Castle!
Klongo, career questioning minion. Don't you ever learn?
Klongo clever, learn lots, has learned new potion.
Is it as useless as all the others?
Yes, Klongo means no. Must win this time or Mistress feed me to monster.
Alright, folks, we have one last Klongo fight. I gotta just call him career questioning minion, like, you know, there's still, like, you know, Klongo's trying to figure out what it is. So, anyway, so the last potion he's going to be using is where he clones himself, and so what we have to do is they have to find who the real Klongo is. And, you know, that's what is in this this playthrough. So, at this point, he'll use all the potions that he's already comes for. But, you know, like I said, in my playthrough, he's going to be cloning himself in this round. So, you know, in your playthroughs, it might be different, though, because, you know, you've already seen him cloning himself. Now, be careful, though, because when he throws his potions at you, they become more accurate. They'll aim right at you instead of just, you know, aimlessly. So, you really got to be careful and just, you know, dodge as much as you can because they're a lot more accurate. So, it's the most challenging Klongo fight there is. But now he's down once more, so there we go. Yeah, not too hard, though, but, you know, it's definitely more challenging. And so, let's see what he decided on.
Klongo noticed something happening after fights with Bear and Bird.
And that is?
Klongo gets less and less handsome. Now Mrs. Klongo won't want me anymore.
Wait, he has a wife? He's married? Since when?
Klongo had enough.
Yeah, no, seriously, since when was he married?
Future prospects not good with Mistress Grunty. No chance of promotion, no days off, no pay. Klongo go find easy desk job, maybe make stupid games.
Yeah, honestly, though, one thing I really like about this is that, you know, they actually gave Klongo a character arc because he doesn't really appear much in Banjo-Kazooie, but, yeah, they gave him a character arc, and so he just rethink his choices. So, let's go in and face the final boss, shall we? Wait a sec. Tower of Tragedy quiz. Yep, that's right, folks. This can't be a Banjo-Kazooie game without a quiz before the final boss.
Thank you, thank you. I'm Grunty, your host, and may I welcome you to my Tower of Tragedy quiz. Let me run through the rules for you all. There are 3 rounds of general knowledge questions, and the person with the lowest score at the end of each round will be eliminated. Correct answers score 2 points, with 1 point being awarded if it was a second guess following. I'm going to stop my over there because, you know, she's going to explain the rules. So, yeah, this is a Tower Tragedy quiz. So, you remember Grunty's Furnace Farm from Banjo-Kazooie, right? Well, you know, once again, this is essentially what it is here. Only this time, things are a little played a little differently, where it's actually played more like a, you know, Jeopardy or,
Or, I forgot what the other question, what the other question is. The Price is Right. Yeah, The Price is Right. So basically, you know, instead of Grunty's Furnace Phone, where it's like, you know, board game based, this is more like, you know, it's more like Jeopardy. Because, you know, we see, in a literal sense, our lives are in jeopardy. So what it is, you're actually going to be competing against Grunty's sisters. Yeah, you remember them? Yeah, we haven't even had any mentions for so long. So, yeah, right now we're competing against Mingella on the left and then Blobelda on the right. So what it is that, Grunty will go ahead and ask you a question. You know, basically, you know, it's general knowledge questions. Because, you know, yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, just like in the last game where you have to make sure, you know, where you get some knowledge or, you know, you learn about, you know, what there is from that game or what you've learned throughout the game. So Grunty will be asking you some questions here, and what you have to do is that if you press the B button, then you'll be able to, the Major will be able to press the buzzer, and then you just have to answer the correct question. Now you want to be careful though, because like, you know, and I'll think I see it. Okay, yeah, I see it like that here. So your opponents will actually try to buzz in as well, and usually they can actually try to do so before you before Grunty finishes the questions. And so, ideally what you want to do is that you want to see enough of what Grunty's about to ask you, and then once you actually get the idea of what she is about to ask you, then you can just hurry and press the B button ahead of time, so that way they're going to be able to answer the questions correctly. So there are two types of this. One of them is just, you know, when Grunty will ask you basically some, you know, some general knowledge questions, and, you know, some certain things about, you know, stuff that you learned throughout the game. The other one is a visual knowledge question where, you know, she has you, she shows off a picture of, you know, either levels or characters. And so you just have to answer correctly, you know, where the level is or what character it is, you know, or basically any of that stuff. Now, one of the most dickish things that could ever happen too is that, you know, while you're in the middle of seeing the picture, your opponents will actually be able to just, you know, buzz in, even though that like wait before Grunty ever has a chance to ask what the question was, and so they'll actually just take a guess there. Which, honestly, going by the logic though, I can never understand how they could actually be able to answer, you know, even though they don't know yet. In fact, as a matter of fact, they've never even been there, so I have no idea how Mingella and Blobelda would just say, you know, be able to answer because, you know, they've never even been there. Now, for each of the rounds, you're under a time limit, so what you want to do is that you want to make sure you have the highest number of points. So, whoever has the highest number of points will be able to move on to the next round. And so, whoever has the lowest score will actually lose the round, and they'll basically be eliminated. Because you can see, Grunty has these 1-ton weights up on you. And if you lose a round, you get squashed flat and you die. Well, I mean, in your case, you know, you have to start this all over, though, because, you know, because I guess that's when Grunty will have the chance to use her machine to do her plan, which never really gets mentioned again, though. And another thing is that another catch though is that if you get the answer wrong, then you'll be locked out of the round itself, and so the other opponent will be able to answer the question. But of course, you know, if your opponent gets an answer wrong and then they get stunned for that, then you'll be able to answer what it was that they got wrong. And so once you get the question answered correctly, then it'll basically be like, you know, a 50-50 shot. And so she'll just give you 1 point, but every correct answer will give you 2 points. So let's see. He did use invisibility. Oh yeah, and when you get things wrong, if you have 0 points, then, you know, it actually goes to the negative section of the numbers. Yeah, we never saw Klungo actually doing speed. Like, there was never any speed here. Alright, so I think this is the last question before the time actually does run out, so there's that there.
That's the end of round 1. It seems that my sister Mingella has set a new standard of dumbness with a hopeless score of -2. Time to say goodbye, Minji.
Oh wait, what are you gonna do? I mean, what happens when you know, if your sister goes and Holy motherfucking shit! She just fucking killed her own sister? My God! Holy shit, Grunty! That's fucking brutal. Like, she's your goddamn sister. You're willing to kill your own goddamn sisters just for losing? Holy shit, man! That's, you know, not only that though, but like, they literally saved you from your 2-year imprisonment under that boulder, and also they also promised that they would actually steal the entire island's life energy, just so that way they can store your own flesh. And this is how you repay them? Holy motherfucking shit! Grunty is she is insane. Like, My God, and she also clearly doesn't give a shit either. Like, you know, she shows no regrets for doing so either, despite the fact that they're own flesh and blood. Well, even though she doesn't really have any flesh and blood though, but still, like, my God, talk about ungrateful, and you know, and she is fucking, you know, insane and demented. Like, holy shit, my God. Okay, anyway, so yeah, this is what happens if you lose a round. You know, you get squished by that. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Ugh. I guess also the reason why it's called Tower of Tragedy, so... yeah. But, you know, it's also another thing, you know, you would think that Grunty would actually just go and proceed with the plan and, you know, just go and, you know, just go and fight, but, you know, apparently Grunty actually really does love quizzes, and so... as a way to challenge her enemies, she, you know, just goes and sets up some quiz games. So, you know, she did that in Banjo-Kazooie, and so she wants to do it again here. So, keep in mind, of course, you know, for how different this round is, unlike in Banjo-Kazooie with Grunty's Furnace Fun, where, you know, that quiz actually did have different challenges though. Like, aside from general knowledge questions and visual questions, it also had stuff like, you know, sound questions and time attack challenges where you replay mini games under a time attack, and there's also the one with the Grunty Secrets. Tower of Tragedy actually removes pretty much a lot of those, because, you know, well, since, you know, this game doesn't have any, well, they do have challenges though, or mini games though, but they were actually removed mainly because, you know, you actually can replay mini games if you go to the main menu, but here in Tower of Tragedy, they just reduced it to just, you know, either general knowledge questions and visual questions. Alright, so this one is the Dodge Jump Dome here, so... yeah, just like in Banjo-Kazooie, you actually have to make sure well, the game actually wants you to pay attention to pretty much all of them, though. And despite the fact that, you know, and keep in mind, folks, these questions will actually have you... it'll assume that you've gone through everything, that you got through 100% completion. Despite the fact that the game is a lot more flexible with how you beat the game, like, you know, you don't really have to do 100% completion. And there's, like, you know, some levels, just like, you know, Cloud Cuckoo Land, where you don't really have to visit. It's, you know, it's kind of like an optional level at this point. So, so that's you know, you don't have to beat the game in that regard, though. But this challenge actually assumes you went through everything, though. So it's basically, like, you know, encouraged to actually do 100% completion. So there you'll know for sure. And also not only that, though, but there are also some questions where, you know, basically some counting questions where, you know, Grunty will ask how many stuff, you know, see, like, for instance, like, how many different sized T-Rex are available to Pterodactyl Land. This one is at least easy, though, because, you know, because we already know it was 2.
That's the end of round 2. Looks like my sister, Blobelda, has also failed to beat that dumb bear. Here's your consolation prize, Blobby.
Oh, damn, that's like... you know, what a way to nickname your sister here. My God, man! Shit, you know, it's to be expected because, you know, considering she just fucking killed Magella. Yeah, killing both her own sisters. Like, my God. Man, Grunty is an asshole. You know, she's, I mean, you know, she's evil for one thing, but, you know, she's also a jerk. She does not give a flying fuck about, you know, about her actions at all. And, you know, she's an absolute jerk about it. But, you know, that's actually what makes her so memorable, is that, you know, aside from her being evil, though, she's also an asshole. And, you know, she also relishes in that kind of fact. And, you know, she's snarky, she says a lot of funny lines of dialogue, but, you know, that's what we love about her, because she's an asshole. Anyway, so this is the third round here. Now, despite the fact that you no longer have opponents, though, this one's a little different, where, you know, you actually, for this round, Grunty will actually set up her own score. So right now she has 15 points. So what you want to do is that, you actually want to have higher points than her. And so, now we're there, you know, and she'll be able to, she'll ask you some questions. She'll ask you some questions there, and you'll be able to see what the entire question was that Grunty's going to be asking you. And then you can actually go ahead and buzz in and then see the answers. So that's actually what you do, so... let's see, anyway. Yeah, going back to the part where, you know, she gives you the number questions. That stuff, though, is probably the most confusing, because, like, you know, you never really expect it to count how many stuff that there is. Oh yeah, what Congo going to do is to make games. How does she know about that? She wasn't even present during that time. But, yeah, those number questions, you know, where she asks you how many stuff there is, yeah, I don't really like those, because, you know, you never really expect it to actually count how many there was throughout your adventure. So yeah, you know, you have to make your best guess whenever she does give you those number questions, but yeah, that's all there is. Alright, so though, I mean, this is a challenge that can actually still be fun, though, because, you know, oh, yeah, I somehow even got that wrong here. But you know, almost to the point where they're just about to get to over points here. And you know, that's all there is to say about the whole quiz show. Is that you know, you just have to you know, just make sure you answer them correctly. So there you can move on to the next question. So yeah, they're basically just general knowledge questions. But you know, in a way they're fun. You know, and it's kind of just being able to answer the questions. You know, it's kind of fun in a way. So. Anyways, just a few more questions in less than 70 seconds, and then we should be good to go, and we should be able to win this round, so that way there we can proceed. What measured all was one of the alien kids holding on Hailfire Peaks. I forgot what it was. I think it was a Jinjo? Yep, it was a Jinjo. Yeah, that's actually where I saw myself right there. I mean, you know, I've already pretty much explained what there is for Tower of Tragedy, and, you know, we've actually gone to the third round right now, though, so I guess, you know, not much to say except for the question here. What is the name of the female bee who gives you extra energy? No, it's pretty easy. It's Honeybee. Yep, we are definitely know-it-all. How many floors does Grunty Industries service elevator stop at? I kind of got this wrong one, though, because... Yeah, I think it's actually supposed to be 5, though, because, like, you know, I was thinking of that giant elevator shaft, which only went into floor 4, so I was thinking of that one, though, but it was actually the other one where you can only access this washer banjo. What was Crush and Glitter Ultramine's crushing shed? It was, Big Boulder. And then, what is the name of a Dragon Boss brother in Hailfire Peaks? It's, Chili Willy. And then I think this is the last question here. What is wrong with a dinosaur who lived in the lake inside Pterodactyl Land's mountain? He has a stomach cramp. No, not broken neck, stomach cramp. There we go. Yeah, that's what we know here. And there we go.
That's the end of the final round. What a useless score that... Huh? What's wrong with the scoring system? It must be broken. You can't have got that many points. No. I declare the win invalid due to faulty equipment.
Oh dear. So what happens now?
I don't know. Any ideas? You could escape in a cowardly fashion, like in Banjo-Kazooie, before we kick your bony butt. Yes, I could. Thanks, Bird Brain. Fortunately, I built a rocket into my booth for this very reason. I'll be waiting for you at the top like last time. But this time, you'll be the ones taking the fall.
And just like that, wow, she actually does have a rocket in her scoring booth, you know, just for that. You know, being a sore fucking loser that she is, and you know, she doesn't take that here. Right, come on, Kazooie. Let's go and see where that door leads, that's just opened, it leads to.
Do you reckon that's the end of the game?
I doubt it. We've not had the credits yet.
That's true. Okay, let's go.
And let's make her say, oh, wow, yeah, that was a close one. Alright, so let's head over to the next room. Well, don't just stand there. There's still time to save my brother and Jingling by reversing the gun's settings. But there's no instructions.
No problem. I'll just press a few buttons and see what happens.
No,
There, that should do it.
You crazy feathered punk! Anything might happen!
I wonder what will hit down there.
Look! It's working!
Ha! I believe you owe me an apology, dumb jars.
Not a chance! Thanks, guys. Life's not much fun as a zombie. Bottle's next thing, Kazooie. He's been lifeless for quite a while, so I think you'd better turn it up to full power.
Not until Soldier Boy apologizes.
Sorry, Kazooie.
Thank you.
Oh no! Look at the time! I'm really late for dinner! Mrs. B will kill me!
I don't care how burnt it is. You're still eating it.
It's not my fault. The witch killed me and I've only just come back to life.
Yes, I'm sure you have, dear. Goodness, who might you two be?
Yo, I'm King Jingling and this fine fellow is Klungo.
Bear and bird free Klungo from evil clutches of mistress.
They saved me from an eternity as one of the undead.
So we come round to celebrate.
Sounds good to me.
Ooh, lovely. I'll make us some nice scones.
But where's Banjo? He's the real hero.
Mistress escaped, so brave Bear and Bird going after her.
They'll join us later, but now, let's party! This must be the end now. We've had the credits, and everyone's alright. Again.
What about Grunty?
Oh.
I think we ought to just take a quick look at the top of the tower.
But there's no way up there.
Nice try, Banjo. But I reckon that opening below the gun over there probably leads up.
I was hoping you hadn't seen that. Yeah, of course, man. He just wants to be done with this at this point. I mean, we are almost done, though, to be fair, though. Alright, so we're here at the, where the big gun is. Oh, familiar face. Holy shit, it's Dingpot.
Why, hello there, Mr. Banjo. I'm Dingpot. Remember me?
No, not really. Oh, damn, Banjo, that's harsh.
I helped you at the end of Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh yeah, it's old Stinkpot.
You're so cruel. But hey, why not jump inside for a nice stingy bonus?
Must we? I've only just got my feathers clean from last time.
Alright, so yeah, we have Dingpot again. Yeah, you remember him, you know, from the very beginning of Banjo-Kazooie. So, you know, this time it doesn't really launch you up to where Grunty is, because, you know, you just walk up there. But what he does, though, is that if you hop into his cauldron, look at that. He can actually max out your inventory. And, you know, it's not always good to do so before the final boss, because you're definitely going to be using eggs quite a lot here. But yeah, that's what it is, though. It was like that last time in Banjo-Kazooie, where you got your inventory maxed out. So it's the same here, where only this time Dingpot does it for you. Alright, so here's the very top, and, oh, god damn, it's locked up. Well, here's another warp pad, and a Jiggy altar. So that means we actually have to go ahead and open this here. So this one actually does require 70 Jiggies there. So therefore, like I've been saying, you know, 70 Jiggies are only required to actually beat the game, though. But we already got all 90 Jiggies, though. So we're all, like, you know, doing 100% completion. So anyways, let's go ahead and do one last Jiggy Week challenge for aggression. But there's actually one more after this, though. But that's, you know, something to show off for a bonus video. So for this one, this is actually the hardest one there is, though, because unlike the others, pretty much all the every single one of the Jiggy pieces are going to be all from the picture, though. So you have to place all of them in every single one of them, Because, you know, it makes sense, though, because it's the final challenge, but it is definitely the hardest yet. So this one actually has us inside the gun chamber that we've already previously visited, though, but, you know, it's just for, you know, opening the door, then that'll just take us to the final boss, so... Yeah, I'd say we're definitely getting pretty close there. You know, it's so surreal. You know, we're almost done with the game here. You know, despite the fact that it's very long. And, you know, I always think, you know, whenever I do these, do my long Let's Plays, like, you know, particularly for RPG games, like, let's say, you know, with Pokemon or actually, no, especially, you know, Paper Mario and Kingdom Hearts. Well, actually, Kingdom Hearts is actually my my longest Let's Play that I've done, and, you know, I always find it so surreal that for these long, lengthy adventures, and then we already reached the end. Because, you know, I feel like it's gotta make it pretty quick, but... Although this playthrough isn't as long as those, because it's taken, like, you know, around 30 episodes, or over 30 episodes. Then there we go, so that's the last Jiggy Wee's challenge, and so we'll just see this one final cutscene of, you know, the door opening here. Well, you know, this laser, and then just, well, this big, you know, this big beam, and then just, opening those lasers, so... Yeah, so I guess all that's left is just, be the witch. Alright, so, yeah, at this point I don't really have anything else to say, though, because, you know, we've already done with all of Jiggy Wee's challenges, and so it's just all that's left is the final boss, so, you know, we're definitely in the end game here, folks. Alright, so let's blast this right here, and then... And lasers are gone. Yeah, somehow it just, you know, mechanically just deactivates them. Alright, so that should be all the areas unlocked, and yeah, we're good to go.
Excellent. You have proved yourself most worthy by opening all the doors. A super special challenge now awaits. One that has no reward, yet is the greatest test of all. Press B if you wish to try it.
Alright, so we're actually not going to do that, though. What it is, you know, it's actually a special challenge where it's actually the hardest one, you know, definitely harder than the last challenge. And where, you know, you have to rotate some puzzle pieces, but... I'm gonna show that off in the bonus video, which I haven't recorded just yet, though. But I am gonna show that off, though, eventually, though. But, you know, it's just for bragging rights. There's really no reward to it, though. But, you know. Also, so we're back in Jinjo Village, and look at that. King Jingling's palace is all restored to its former glory. Look at all the gold. All the gold. It's so nice now. If we go over to Ball's house, we see that people blocked us out, and we can't go there anymore. Sorry, guys, but you can't come to the party until the witch's history.
Yes, Baron Bird must go back to castle and bash mistress.
Hurry along, Banjo, dear. I'll save you one of my scones.
Oh, please do. Let me some scones. Let me some nice scones. So yeah, if you go over this way, I actually want to show this off here, where, you know, if you go in here, then, you know, the music will transition to this, you know, this rave party remix of a Bottles house. It's called Party at Bottles, though, but I actually want to go ahead and listen to this so that we're there, you know, I can be able to unlock it at the jukebox in a Jolly's Tavern. But I want to show it off. If you actually go into the other entryway of Bottle's house and, you know, just go inside, basically, you actually see all the colors going all around because they're already having their party. But you're still locked out of it, though. Now, also, well, actually, I'll talk about it once we, in the bonus video, which I was going to be recording. Because, you know, there's actually more to talk about, which is also disappointing. But, you know, aside from all that, then, yep, we're pretty much, we're here now, so this is the entryway, and this will lead us to the final boss, so, you know, but I figured I'd just go and show those off, so. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we just about made it, so, next time on Let's Play Banjo-Tooie, in the finale, we're going to be going in there and finally put the witch in her place and avenge all our losses that happen, including, well, destroying Banjo's property is what it is, yeah, that's what we're there for. We're Bottles, but, anyway, until next time, I will see you guys later.